welcome to Universal Interiors. I am Uni Fegley with Matt Moore, owner of Moore Gunsmithing in Frazee, Minnesota. We get a lot of feedback from guys, and so I kind of want to keep them entertained as well. What is a gunsmith?
Well, a gunsmith is someone who repairs and alters firearms. They offer professional cleanings. I'm also a licensed dealer, which means I'm licensed with the federal government so that I can sell firearms as well.
Okay.
But you have to be licensed in order to be a gunsmith. You have to get a dealer's license in order to work on guns. You have to go to school to learn how to do it.
So around hunting season, you're pretty busy.
Yes,
Yeah.
Very busy.
All right. Well, why don't we just jump to it? Talk about this cool gun first. That's so beautiful. Can you see that? That is so pretty.
Well, this is a bolt-action rifle that I put together. I actually put it together for myself. It's a 270. It's a Remington 700. It's just a typical hunting rifle.
All right. Can we have just a few basics? Like what is, just a few basics as far as what is what on a gun?
Okay,
like
well,
101.
This is the stock. This is a telescopic sight. This here would be the bolt. The gun is clear. There's nothing in it. This is the action. Also, this is the breech, barrel, muzzle.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to kind of talk about how you would clean a gun if you just had a gun. If you just got a gun, just give us some generals. Obviously, something that just somebody watching would be interested in knowing kind of what you do, like a 101 style.
Okay, well, for a basic cleaning on a bolt action where you don't tear everything apart, you would take the bolt out and then you can just clean the barrel, and wipe down the bolt itself.
Can you show us how to clean the barrel? Like, do you use any of those instruments?
Yes, you would take wrong rod, sorry. You would take a patch and put it in. There's special tips for patches.
It's like a little needle.
Yeah. And then you would take some solvent. And then get some solvent on your patch. And I need to slide this way so that I don't get any solvent on your floor.
I'm not gonna lie, I love this smell.
Yes, Hoppies has a very distinctive smell.
My dad used to clean his gun, and I would always remember that smell, and it takes me back so crazy. I think that's so funny.
And if you can, always go from the breech side when you're cleaning, because then you aren't pushing any grime inside the action. And then you just go through and always let the rods spin with the rifling. And then you would, you take a brush end and run that down all the way through and then pull it through. And what that does is it scrubs all the carbon and the lead fouling in there out.
So what would you do? Let's say, this might be a stupid question, but there are some girls watching too that have maybe some questions. Let's say you're cleaning it and you run into it stops. Like you can't bring the brush anymore. Has that ever happened?
Well, if there's an obstruction, it could happen, or you're using too big of a brush or too big of an end for your gun where the patch will not go all the way through. Mm-hmm. And then you don't want to push any farther for sure, and you want to try to ease it out the best you can so that you don't break your rod end off in there.
Sure. Is there an instrument that you look down there to see kind of if there's obstruction?
Well, they make bore scopes. You know, I knew there was no obstructions in this
Right.
one, but there's bore scopes and bore lights that you can, a scope goes down and you can see inside there. It's like a little camera. And then,
It's kind of like a doctor.
yeah, and then with just a bore light, what you'd do is you'd shine the light from this end. You never want to look down the end of a barrel, you
Right.
know, but if you can look through it this way with a light, and then you can, if you can see all the way through, then you know it's good.
Okay, interesting.
So after it's brushed, then you'll want to take clean patches. You know, clean the rod off a little bit, get some of the grime off. And then you'll take a clean patch and you'll run it through. And I don't know if you can see, but it picks up
Oh, yep.
the grime, and then you just continue running patches until it comes up clean. And if there is, if it's not, if you're not getting clean patches and there's a lot of grime inside there, you can go through and wet it again with solvent, and then
So what are these
brush
other,
it again.
what are these other little things for? I see we
Well,
have,
that is a aerosol gun scrubber there. And when I'm taking apart, especially shotguns and semi-autos where there's a trigger group that drops out,
okay.
you can get in there with regular solvent and a brush and brush that. And I use the aerosol to wash away all that grime, so you don't have to take every little part apart inside that trigger group, because there's lots of springs and everything.
Gotcha.
And that's what I recommend for people doing it at home. You know, I know how to take those apart, but it's not something that, you know, the average gun owner should do.
Right.
So I use this, and the nice thing about this is it washes away the solvent and the grime, and if there's any dirt and grime still in there, it makes it turn white and powdery so that you can see it, and then you
sure.
can go back at it and clean it.
And then this is just a,
This is an aerosol gun oil, rem oil, and it's nice for, you know, just spraying down a part, and then, you know, you can move that around and give it a nice coating.
okay.
It's also really nice in areas that you can't get at with a rag to spray the oil in.
Sure.
And then this is another type of gun oil. It's more traditional oil, and you can just dab it on your rag and use that to apply your oil.
Very cool. So then to end this whole thing, then just put your little,
And then you put your bolt back in.
there you have your gun. How often should you clean your gun?
You should clean your gun every time you use it. you know,
Really?
preferably. I mean, that's what I recommend. I recommend cleaning after every use, because then when you take it apart to clean it, you can see if there's any worn parts, anything broken inside of it. And then you know if you need to bring it to a gunsmith to get it repaired.
Gotcha.
And it helps you to learn how your firearm works, and you know, that way if there's any problems, it's
Very
visible.
interesting. Very interesting. Well, thank you so much for watching, Matt Moore. I hope you guys enjoyed this little segment, and watch again.
Thank you.